Hello everybody. It is Sunday night about 8:30 and I decided that I was going to bake some cookies and send them off to my husband this week. So I thought I would mix up the dough tonight and then they'll bake tomorrow and then I'll probably mail them out to him on Tuesday. So he likes oatmeal raisin. The recipe that I normally use is in my family cookbook in New Mexico, packed in boxes. So I'm going to be using a recipe that I found online. I will link that website, and then if you want to use this recipe, you can go to that website because I do not want to take credit for anybody else's hard work. So I will not be posting the recipe word for word in the description box. People, I don't have the patience. And second of all, I know good and well that each and every one of you are capable of doing a Google search and finding an oatmeal raisin recipe that you like. So the point of this video today is not necessarily that I'm making cookies. The point is that I'm going to bake cookies with the majority of my ingredients from the food bank. And it's not that I got every single thing in my last food bank, but maybe, for example, the walnuts came, the time before that, or I got the butter the last time, but you get the idea, right? The white sugar maybe didn't come this time but came last time, or the flour didn't come this time but it came last time. So I'm going to point out the ingredients of what's food bank and what's mine, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to mix up these cookies and then I'm going to go ahead and bake them. So it's just a standard oatmeal raisin. All right, so stick with me. And again, as a caveat, this is about what you can do with food bank groceries. So if any of you are in a position where you feel like you're really struggling, maybe you've had an event that has wreaked havoc on your budget, maybe you're changing jobs, maybe you're caring for an elderly person and you're not working. That is the case in my house, and I can go into more detail about that a little bit later. But tonight we're going to bake some cookies. One of us might eat a little bit of cookie dough, so if anybody's worried about the eggs, that is okay for you, but in my kitchen I do what I want and you're probably going to see me eat the cookie dough. Okay, let's get to it, all right? Now, bear with me because I'm going to try to get my camera where you're seeing what I want you to see, which I think is right there. Okay, let's start with the ingredients. So I have sugar. I got a 4-pound bag of sugar from the food bank. That rarely happens, so I was hugely excited to see that. I also have some flour. This isn't normally the flour that I buy. I usually buy the old generic white flour, but this is unbleached and I'm very happy to have it. We're going to use it today. The oatmeal is food bank. The egg is food bank. The butter is food bank, but I'm going to do a little tiny cheat here. I do have butter from the food bank, and had I thought about this earlier, I would have pulled it out of my freezer and thawed it out. But because I want to do this tonight, I went ahead and pulled out a cube of my own butter, and I'm going to use that. So I hope you don't find that to be too offensive or cheating or whatever, but that's what we're doing. And then I have some walnuts. Usually when I get the walnuts, I chop them up and stick them into 2 or 3 little jars and keep them that way so that I don't have to do it when I'm baking. And then this brown sugar also came from food bank, which you don't always get, but during the holidays, November and December, I got a brown sugar almost every time that I went. And then I have some raisins, so we're going to use those too. All right, so most of my good baking stuff, like my KitchenAid mixer, is in New Mexico. We are roughing it here, and maybe I'll have those things by early April. So we're just going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to walk you through it I'm sure you all know how to make cookies, but maybe you're just relaxing tonight. Oh, the baking soda is mine, and the salt is mine. So that won't surprise any of you. Okay, oh, and the vanilla. I like to make my own vanilla, and I have it right here. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So I have all the ingredients. I'm just going to get ready to mix up the soft ingredients. So we have half a cup of butter, and I've got that reasonably softened. There we go, that's good. And we're going to do it with the sugars, and I think it calls for a 1/4 cup of sugar. So I'm just going to use this because I only have 1/2 cup measurements and 1 cup measurements, so that'll work. And then the brown sugar was, I believe, a 1/2 cup. So we'll go ahead, whoops, that's a whole cup. We're going to go ahead and get a nice packed cup there. That'll work. Get that in there. I'm going to throw my egg in. There we go. And I like to put in my salt and soda in with my mixed stuff, and then I know it's in and I don't have to worry about it. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. How much baking soda is it calling for? 1/2 teaspoon. Oh, I do have measuring spoons. Look at that. All right, is that 1/2? There we go. A little 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, so we're going to get this mixed up. And I'm going to get this stuff out of my way so that it's not in your view. And let's see what we can do. All right, there's going to be some noise, people. Okay, I sped forward a little bit so you didn't have to listen to that mixer go on and on and on, but now we're ready to add our dry ingredients. And this has, it says 1 cup of all-purpose flour spooned and leveled. Well, I'm not a spoon and level kind of girl. I'll fluff it a little bit, and that's just going to have to be the way it is. I've been baking my whole life, and I just don't mess with that kind of stuff. So I do admire people who have that kind of patience, but darlings, it is not me. Okay, 1 cup flour. You ready? Ta-da! And then oatmeal is 1.5 cups of oatmeal. I love oatmeal. I love oatmeal. Okay, that's about a cup. And we'll call that a 1/2 cup. And you know what? I forgot to put my vanilla in, so let's do that right now. Anybody else make your own vanilla? When did I start making my own? I guess about 2 years ago. I watched a couple of people on YouTube. I never thought you could make your own vanilla. And then I started making my own vanilla, and I love it. So, in fact, I just got some vanilla beans because it has to sit like 6, 7, 8 months, somewhere nice and dark. So I have to start it now in order to have it a little bit later. Well, how much vanilla do they say? A teaspoon. I like to use a little bit more than what they say, probably a tablespoon. Oh, no. Okay, it'll be good. Hopefully, you know, if it doesn't turn out, I'll show you my bloopers too, because I'm not embarrassed to show you the fails. Okay, I will go ahead and put in the, I'm going to turn this off though, because I don't feel like you need to listen to it, and I'll be back to you in just a second. Okay, I mixed in the flour and the oatmeal. This looks about just like it should, so now I'm going to add raisins and walnuts, and we are done. So I don't measure. I don't really believe in measuring too much. Does anybody else cook like that? I just don't have the desire to measure stuff. Plus, I like a lot more raisins than the recipe usually calls for. So we're just going to take a handful and get those in there. There we go. Just a little bit more. Ooh, that's a lot. Ooh, did I overdo it? I don't think so. Okay, we'll live. We will live, people. Okay, I'm going to mix it one more time. I'm going to turn this off because I don't want you to have to listen to the mixer, and I'll be back to you in just a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to tell you a funny story because it does relate to oatmeal cookies. Oh, goodness, let's see. About 20 years ago, give or take, when I met my husband, I knew right away that I was going to either be with him the rest of my life or marry him. But I let him think that he was chasing me. And so I let him do all his little, stuff. But in the early time while we were dating, his ex baked him some cookies and brought them over to him. And his ex, she is lovely. I liked her right away. She's a spicy little short Italian woman. She's funny. She's great. Her and Addie have a great post relationship. They've been friends. But anyway, she brought him some cookies. And they were oatmeal. And so I ate one. And this was after she left. And they were okay. They weren't, bad. But I said to myself, oh, Deanna, you need to bake this man some real oatmeal cookies and, make sure that he understands that you know how to bake. So I waited a couple days to not be, horribly obvious. And then I made him this cookie. It was an oatmeal cookie, but I put cranberries and pecans and white chocolate chunks in it. And I baked those up for him and then, casually left them out. And he enjoyed those cookies. So I don't know if he married me because I was, cute. And that was 20 years ago. And I was cute 20 years ago. But, time catches up to all of us. Or if he married me over that batch of cookies. So who knows? But anyway, again, I knew that I was going to marry him, but I let him think that he did the chasing. But I decided pretty much on the day I met him, he's lovely. Okay, so when I make oatmeal cookies, I always remember that. And I always like to put oatmeal cookies in whatever care box I'm making him. So I'll bake some other things too, and I may or may not bring you along for that. We will see. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So that looks exactly like it should. That's not anything different than what we would expect, right? Now, it says to chill these overnight, and actually I am inclined to do that. So I'm going to grab some parchment paper. And I'm going to roll these into individual balls and then put them in the refrigerator. I'm kind of playing with the idea of making these monster size. Part of the reason I'm contemplating monster size is that my little grandmother loves monster cookies. She loves the idea that a cookie is so big it takes her 3 or 4 days to eat. So I believe that's what I'm going to do. And we'll just do this. I'm going to put them on a plate because I just am very limited as to what I have. So what do you think, people? Should we do regular size where we can eat in moderation, or should we say and make the monster ones? Now, I have gained 8 stinking pounds since I moved back to Washington in October. And they have all gone in two places, right here, Mildred, right here, and right here, which you don't need to see. So I need to do something about it, but I don't think it's going to be, you know, this week. So let me decide. You can put in the comments if you like whether you would do the monster size or if you would just do regular size. So having thought about it, I'm going to do monster. It says it makes 24 cookies, so let's see if I can get 10 would be the goal, I think, here. So I put my flour away, but I'm wondering if I should pull it back out in case I need to stick. Oh, that's sugar. Oh, I don't, well, put a little bit of sugar right there. Well, I like to put my cookies in sugar, so we'll see what we do. Okay, let's see what we're going to do. Can I get you down? All right, I think I lost you while I was deciding what to do, but let's see if I can get the camera back. Okay, that should work. I decided on the monsters. So those of you who thought you might want to do monster cookies instead of regular size cookies, you win this one. So a little less than half a cup of dough. They make a cookie that's about this big. I know because I made some monster cookies, the kind with the M&Ms and the chocolate chips and all of that stuff. I made them at Christmas, and they were so good. I gave a lot of them away. I might have eaten a couple, you know, in the middle of the night. And then Grandma, she got one, and it sat on her, well, she ate it. But it took her a few days to eat it. So there it was, slowly getting smaller and smaller. And then some time went by, and I noticed that she wasn't eating on it anymore. So I said, Grandma, you know, that cookie, it was in a Ziploc baggie, but still, that cookie is getting old. So if you don't finish it, I'm going to toss it to the chickens and get it off of your nightstand. So a few more days went by because I know she hates for me to throw her stuff away. She just wasn't eating it. So I went in, and that night I put her to bed, and I took that cookie and, you know, put it to go out to the chickens the next day. And she was kind of spicy mad at me. And so when I tucked her in, she was kind of giving me the stink eye. And then the next morning, she was still a little bit unhappy. So I asked her, you know, Grandma, what's the matter? She goes, well, you know, you took my cookie and I didn't like it and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, well, darling, I said, I've got like 6 of those cookies in the freezer. So you can always have another one nice and fresh. I don't want you to eat stale stuff. And then that went ahead and made her day. And I don't know what I was thinking, 12. I remember now that when I made the monster cookies this size, a single recipe netted 6 cookies. So I think we'll be good if we get 6. All right. And I like to roll my cookies in sugar. Does anybody else do that? My little grandmother, her name was Granny, and she lived on a farm in Iowa. That's how she did hers. She rolled all of her cookies in sugar. And she was the most amazing baker. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think we're only going to get 5, and that's enough. I can give 1 to Grandma and send 4 to Addie. And everything will be good. Well, send 4 to Addie. Who are we kidding? The chances are very, very, very likely that Addie may not even see these cookies. But between you and me, I'm not going to tell him if he doesn't. All right. So there we go, and there we go. And let's see if we can get one more little small cookie out of this. Looks like we can. Oh, maybe a full-size one. Nope, not too much. Okay. Okay, people, I will bring you back tomorrow when I have baked these cookies. I will show them to you. You can do a count and see if I ate them all, or said Grandma ate them all, or if any of them actually make it to my husband, but there they are. Those, I'm going to wrap it with saran wrap. Those are just going to go in the refrigerator overnight. Okay, Well, it's been very fun up to this point. So I hope that you guys will have a good evening, and I will see you next time. And again, I just want you to know that truly, if you are in a place where your resources are exhausted for whatever reason, I want you to feel confident about going to the food bank. The food bank where I live, the people are so nice. They treat you with dignity and respect. I have a food bank where you get to walk through, and most things you get to pick what you want, and that makes it nice because you don't bring anything home that you're not going to use. Every once in a while, they'll throw something in there that, you know, that you don't use. For example, when I was there last Wednesday in the meat, I just tell them that they ask me what I want, and I say, I can do anything except pork because I've got 2 people in this house who definitely do not eat pork. Grandma doesn't, and my husband doesn't, and I don't eat pork much anymore either. So I ask for no pork. And so they brought me back a package of chicken breasts, which was really nice. I almost always get that. And a little 1-pound thing of hamburger, which is lovely. I almost always get that. And then they brought me like a 2.5-pound bag of frozen cooked salad shrimp. And I loved it when I saw it, but it's not something that I buy. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I know that I can maybe put it on top of salad, or I might do a stir fry and toss it into a stir fry, but honestly, I don't know. I'm going to have to look on Google and see what's available. But my point is, truly, if you need the resources, I want you to feel confident. I want you to go without feeling shame. I want you to enjoy what you bring home. I want you to use it, make the meals around it, do your grocery shopping around what you got at the food bank, and then just have a little bit of fun. And when you have enough ingredients, maybe you don't get it all in the same trip. I didn't. I think it was 3 food banks before I had flour, sugar, butter, brown sugar. I almost always have access to the walnuts and the raisins, so that wasn't really an issue. But if you have to wait a little bit, just stick it in your pantry, and when you have everything, or maybe you only need 1 item, you can pick it up when you pick up your groceries and have a blast. You know, brighten up somebody's day. So I know these cookies will brighten up my husband's day, and I know they'll brighten up my day, and I'm sure Grandma will eat one too. Okay, my friends, I have babbled long enough. I will bring you back tomorrow, either when I start baking these cookies or when they come out of the oven. Okay, ta-ta, you guys. You have a great evening. Bye-bye. Hi,
all right,
good afternoon. I hope you all browned up from the skillet.
When
I'll go ahead and try
I
to
left
get that
you, it was last
camera
night,
right
and I
down
had
there at
just
an
put my
angle
cookie
where you can
dough
see it
for the
fairly
oatmeal
easy.
raisin cookies made
So
with
can
my
you
food
see
pantry
that? That's
ingredients. I
perfectly
had just put them into the
fried.
refrigerator.
Looks nice.
So I pulled them out,
And I only have
today,
2 real plates in the
and
house,
I think you
and
guys
they're
will be
both in
so
the
proud of me
dishwasher.
when
I
we
went
are
to
using
bed. There
paper
were 6
plates
for now.
big monster
Eventually,
cookie
our
dough
stuff
balls,
will come,
and
we
I
won't
have
even
6
have to worry about
today.
it. Now,
So I
Grandma
did not
loves
get
her
into
butter,
the cookie
so I'm
dough.
gonna put just a
I did not eat
tiny
raw
little
cookie
bit on
dough,
here.
and I'm about to
And
put this
get
first
this
batch
ready
of
for
monster
her.
cookies
And
into
this
the
is what
oven.
I like to
But I do
do.
want you to see what I
I'm
do
going
just
to
because,
take
you know, why not?
Of
So I'm going to go ahead
cheese
and
spread.
put the screen down, and
I think
again,
it's like
of
a New York
course, you
cheesecake
know
they're calling it. What
that
is the name
the
of
phone will
Is it
probably
IHOP
fall
that has
off,
those
or
glorious
you know, I'll
pancakes
have
with
it
the
aimed at my
New York
shoes, or
cheesecake
you know,
chunks
who
in
knows
it,
what.
if you guys
So
ever had 'em.
let's see what
Wow,
happens.
they are so good. And I'm going to take a little bit of the syrup, and I just kind of put the syrup along that
Okay,
too.
so I did do one
And
cookie because I
then I'm
wanted to
going
make
to
sure that the
put the
process I
other
was going to
piece of
use
toast
was going
right
to
there
work.
on top.
But I do 3 on a cookie sheet,
Grandma
and I'm
does
going to
not
bake them
mind
for
my
12
fingers,
minutes at
so
350,
we're
and then
not
I'm
gonna
going to
worry
chuck
about
them.
that.
I would rather have a soft
And
cookie
then I'm
than
gonna
a
load
too
up
crispy
the
cookie.
top
Took a piece
with
of
this.
parchment paper
You can
that
see
I
why I only make this for her.
it's like a reused piece of paper, and then just a Tupperware
You're
lid,
gonna hear me
because
say
you
that
gotta
about
use
everything,
what
and
you
then by
gotta
the time
use.
you add it all up, you're gonna go,
And
oh
I'm
my
just
God,
gonna
you
go
freeze them
ahead
anything
and
healthy?
center that right
There's
in the middle
last
of my
that.
thing. And I'm going to
So
push
it's
down
not
on
the
it, and that
prettiest,
should give
but-
us a fairly nice,
Well, actually, this kind of
round
like
cookie
that.
to start
Did you guys
with.
eat that for breakfast? We're
I
not
just
quite
want them to
finished yet.
go in the right direction.
Grandma has a condition
that
with
one
her
just
hand,
needs a little bit of,
and I think it's
love.
called Dupuytren's
So there we
syndrome
go.
or something.
And then it
like
doesn't
that.
really
Here I am.
matter
So
where
I
they
like to
are
cut
when I do
her
this because
food
I
for
can put
her
them,
so that she
I can
doesn't have to
position
try
them
to
on the
hold
pan
the silverware
the way I
two
want.
pieces at a time.
So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I'll just give that a little bit,
And
and we'll check it. Okay,
we
so I'm just
will
going to
give
go
it to
and
Grandma.
firm up those edges.
see how she likes
I would
it.
love to have cookies that don't
Well, I know
crack,
she likes it.
but
She eats this
you know,
for me.
you get what you get.
Nice.
In the
This
end,
is
it's still a
lot.
cookie,
There's no
right?
way that Grandma
Are
can
any
eat
of you
all
going
of
to turn
that.
down a cookie
But
because
whatever
it's
she
got a little
doesn't
wrinkly
eat,
edge?
I will give to my
We will
chickens
see.
later in the day.
Okay,
There it is. It smells
so
good.
this
And
is
then
what my
Grandma likes
pan
the
is
cream,
going
so
to
I'm
look
just gonna
like.
Give her a nice little dollop right there.
Just like that.
And then, have you guys
Lots of
tried
room for these
the,
cookies to spread out.
I think they're called spiced
And I'm going to
oranges
see you
in
when these
canning
come out.
Project. It's super,
All right.
super yummy.
Don't
I
go
like
anywhere.
to just open the jar from time to time and
Hi,
eat them myself.
good afternoon.
Put
I
them
hope
in
you all
tea,
are doing well.
As what I have been
When
doing, but I'm
I
going to eat
left
this one
you,
now
it
while I'm
was
getting
last
the last
night,
of her
and I
plate
had
ready, and
just
I'm going
put
to
my
put one
cookie
on there for
dough
her. So
for the
if
oatmeal
you, I'll
raisin
link
cookies
this
made
recipe
with
too,
my
because this
food
is really
pantry
good.
ingredients. I had just put them into the refrigerator.
I may have said that already.
So I pulled them out today, and I think you guys will be so proud of me when I went to bed. There were 6
she won't be able to do
big
that.
monster cookie dough
And then we'll
balls,
just put some nice
and I
little-
have 6 today.
Okay.
So I did not
So
get
there
into the
is
cookie
Grandma's
dough.
French toast.
I did not eat raw cookie
and
dough.
she can use this
And
fork.
I'm about to put
and
this first
I may
batch of
be
monster
able to
cookies
take
into
you
the
in
oven.
to see
But I
Grandma.
do want you to see what
We
I
will
do
see.
just
Hold
because,
on one second.
you know, why not? So I'm going to go ahead
battle of
and
phone.
put the
You're gonna see
screen
my-
down. And okay, I am back, and we are finishing up our cookie project. We started last night about 8:30. We made a batch of oatmeal raisin monster cookies. This morning I got up and did the baking part of it, and now they are done, and I just want to show them to you, and we'll do a little taste test, and then I will put them in a baggie and set them aside for my husband's care package. Okay, so first off, my first impression is that they are not as big as I expected them to be. Now, I would love to move my camera down for you to see them on the counter, but the camera is acting like a little fool, and when you touch the tripod, it just, you know, clatters to the floor, because what else does it have to do today? So I am going to show you what the cookie looks like. All right, so here's my hand, and this is the size of the oatmeal raisin cookie. Now, visually, I like the cookie. It's got some nice brown color to it. The back is nice, but it feels like it's going to be soft enough when you bite into it that you're going to enjoy it. So let's find out what we think about this. I'm going to take a little piece of this one, and then I will give the rest of this one to Grandma. She'll eat it over the next few days. I'm going to try not to eat it. The real reason is because of those stinking 8 pounds, right? Okay. All right, so here it is, and I will give you a idea of what I think. Now, it does feel soft on the inside, which is what I like. I like a cookie to be a little bit softer. I don't like them dry or hard. So let's find out how it compares to my oatmeal recipe that I've been making for 100 years. So let's see. Well, I like my other recipe better. This one is not bad, but my other recipe, I guess maybe because I've been baking it for, 40 years, that I'm used to that cookie. This cookie tastes a little bit doughy, and I'm wondering if I should have left it in the oven a little bit longer. I think if I were to make this again, I would add more vanilla. I would skip the white sugar altogether, and I would add, I think it was what, quarter cup of white sugar and I don't remember, half a cup of brown, so that'd be 3/4 of a cup. I think I would add 1 entire cup of brown sugar and maybe even a little bit more. On a scale of 1 to 10, and I'm not criticizing the content writer's recipe. I don't think that they were a recipe to be made into monster cookies. I think they were supposed to be, you know, small size. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this one a 7. I love the raisins. I like the chewy of the oatmeal, but there's a little bit of a cakey feel to it, and I am not necessarily loving that part. So the important thing is that we tried something. If you have everything in your pantry to make oatmeal raisin cookies, you can take a look at this recipe. I am going to go ahead and stick it in the link for you. Or you can Google around the internet and find your own recipe, or dig through your family's recipes and find the one that you really like. I do love the raisins though. What I really like about it is that now I feel no worries about not sending Addie the other cookies. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me bag those up, and then I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. I will finish this video and it should come up, oh, I don't know, tomorrow maybe. I'm also putting out a video today on 3 salads that I make with my food pantry groceries, and I'm going to label them good, better, and best, and they're all 3 different salads. So I'm going to try to get that finished up today and get that out. So let's package them up, and then I will let you guys go. All right? Okay. Now, I think my husband will eat these with his tea in the morning. So I think he'll like them just fine. And I don't want to give the wrong impression. I do like them. It's just that I think I'm so used to my own recipe that I've been using for 100 years, but now I'm old and I can't remember it off the top of my head. So, and again, I'm pretty sure that this recipe was not written to be a monster cookie, and that could make all the difference in the world. So if you go to that link and you make the cookie and you follow her directions and you make them the right size and you get a gorgeous cookie, I want you to let me know. Reach out to me and tell me how that went. Remember, the whole point about making the cookies is that when you access food bank groceries, it doesn't mean that you can't have some of the things that you have always had in your life. Maybe you can't have them all at once. Maybe you have to wait a few weeks to gather up the materials, but you can do things, and you can, you know, reach out and bring a little bit of happiness to the people around you. So Grandma's going to enjoy the other half of this cookie. My husband is going to enjoy these, and I got to make a video and spend a few minutes with you guys. So I do not have a subscribe button right now because honestly, I cannot figure it out. I just haven't had the energy to sit down and try again. But if you can find a way to like or subscribe, if you did like, I would greatly appreciate that. I want to thank you for being here. All right, you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.